Hello, folks, and welcome. Hopefully, we'll have a little fun today, but I'm going to talk about short passwords. Anything under the 8 characters, because there's a limitation for that in case you've already created your user, you've installed, and you want to change it to something shorter or add a new user with shorter passwords. I'll be talking a little bit about graphically how we normally do this, and then I'll talk about terminal. It's a little bit more powerful. In either case, folks, filming in 1080, even though I'm in 4K. Subscription logo is in the corner, LM22.1 Cinnamon. User accounts, short passwords, not everybody's cup of tea. You can either go to your Mint menu or right-click on your panel bar and hit System Settings to find out who is logged in, account details. Sam is just a made-up name, Sam the Tester. You can also change your passwords here. This dialog box usually requires you to put in your current password. Now, you were asked to create a user when you installed your system. Now, I don't know if you have a single user or multiple user, but I'll try to address both today. But the current user, Sam, what is the current password? Whatever that was that you created initially. Mine happens to be 5 characters, so you can count the dots if you like. Now, I'm going to do something silly, and please, whenever you're dealing with passwords, don't be making shorter passwords. Some people like auto logins. I will caution you, auto logins is not advisable on laptops. In case you take your laptop out of your home and it gets accidentally stolen at the coffee shop or wherever, people just can open the lid and start looking at your files immediately. Give them a little harder work by using passwords. In either case, I'm going to just show password. We're going to make this silly. So if I punched in 1, 2, 3, 4, just number of characters, that's the only reason I'm doing this, folks. You can see that the change box is gray. In other words, I can't click on it. I have a cancel button, I have an X. As I increase this in numbers, I left out a 5, sorry. It's all right. So we have 7 characters here, and let me add the rest of the fields in here so they match. They're still too short, and you don't have a change box. As soon as you hit the 8th character, whatever that might be, then this is now lit up and I can make the change. So my limitation now is I went from 5, is I'll now have to put in 8 if I wanted to change the password. And sometimes that aggravates people. But in either case, using decent password is what I've always recommended. I'm kind of against auto logins because of the reason of people being able to get into your system immediately without, if they steal your computer, for instance. But in either case, whatever your reason is, to change the password to something short, it can't be done here unless you like 8 or more characters. So I'm going to hit cancel. Now I'm going to go to the next field. Again, whether you have a single user or multiple users, we can do also adding users here. Current password field is 5. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to log in here. So I have Hazel. She's an administrator. She has sudo capability. Mark is a standard user, but we can promote him to administrator, and he will have sudo capability. But maybe you don't want to do that. Why do we create standard users? Well, it could be a child. It could be someone that you don't want to have make system-wide changes, but you would like to have them use your computer. So you create an account for them. They'll have their own home folders, etc., and their bookmarks on their web browsers, for instance. All right, so we'll just leave Mark as standard. Sam the Tester is an administrator. He has sudo capability. So Hazel and Sam can actually change Mark's password, but they can also change their own. So in here is a password field also. So I'm currently logged in as Sam the Tester. I already showed that in the previous example. And this dialog box is slightly different, but it just says new and confirm password. It doesn't ask for the old one. You've already logged in here. That's how it knows that. Same deal though, if I do the silly stuff, I put in 7 characters, it will not take it. It's too short. As soon as I hit the field of 8, then I can change it. So how do I get around this to make Sam, the tester's password, shorter? Well, I'm going to actually show you this to a single character just for an example, and I do not recommend this. We need terminal for that. Maybe your terminal is not on your panel bar. If it is not, type in T. You will find it. So do you know how to make this box bigger? If not, it's Control, hold it down, Shift, hold it down. Right next to your backspace is a plus key. Hit, still holding the Control and Shift, hit plus a couple of times. It's just temporary, makes it bigger. I think for filming purposes, this is maybe nicer. Sam is our current logged in user if you don't know how to read a terminal box. Then there's an @ symbol, and then followed by whatever the name of your computer is. We're going to use a sudo command. Let me explain what a sudo command does. Super user do, or elevated privileges, is what I can do with sudo. All right, sudo is used for a lot of things, and it shouldn't be used lightly either. And neither should this command. Now, what is the sudo command for changing a password? It's passwd, not the password. It's passwd. Shortened version of that is password. So passwd, I highly recommend that you put a space and the username. So we're going to pick on Sam first. So I will type in that. So it's sudo space passwd space Sam. Now, as soon as you hit enter, it's going to ask for Sam's current password, whatever that might be, and you'll just see a bunch of stars. Okay, so it's 5 characters, and I'm going to hit enter. Now it's asking, what do you want Sam's new password to be? Now, I'm going to caution you, be careful when you're typing, because most of the time you're going to hit a letter and then you'll see nothing. And then you'll self-correct, and then all of a sudden you lost, the second password where it says to confirm it doesn't match. So what I'm trying to tell you right now is you will not see anything when you type. But I'm going to make this the single character A, just to be silly. And then hit enter and repeat the same letter. And you'll see the word password updated successfully. So if you start typing and you put in the second retype new password as a mismatch, you'll get another error message. But how do I know this has been done correctly? So I'm not going to close the box because I'm going to change this also for Mark. But I'm going to prove to you that I just changed Sam's password to a single digit. How do we do that? Without logging out of our system. All right, so in here we have several boxes that require passwords. The users and groups requires a password. The firewall requires a password. So if I put in the previous password, which was 5-digit, it just says, no, sorry, that didn't work. However, I'm going to put in a letter A, because that's how I changed the password for Sam and authenticate. Since the firewall box opened, that means that's the password. I'll do the same with the user group. Single digit. I do not recommend this. Okay. So let me first change Sam's password back to what I had it. So I'm going to use the upper arrow key on my keyboard to repeat that same command, sudo password Sam. When I hit enter, since I haven't closed the terminal box, it will not ask me for a sudo password. It will just ask me for a new password, and then I have to retype it. Just be aware in case you didn't close this box. You don't see what I'm typing. However, I will confirm that with you by using the same method. Single letter A, authenticate, doesn't work. The 5-digit password that I had in earlier, I just put it back, does work. All right. Now this one here, I can't prove to you, but you can change somebody else's password also. Upper arrow case to repeat that, but this time, looking at my user list, and you have to, there has to be an existing account for this. I'm going to change Mark's password, Mark D, but the username is Mark. Okay. Now, I could have let Mark change his own password, but he has 5 digits. Sorry. Does he have 5 digits currently, or did I change it to 5? Well, I changed it to 5 earlier. But if Mark does it on his own, it's 8. But I'm going to do this for Mark to make it shorter. You notice that it's not asking me for a password for sudo because I still haven't logged out of this terminal box. Be careful when you put in other users' name in here when you're doing this. All right, so right now it's asking me for a new password for Mark. It's not asking me for his old password because I'm logged in as Sam using a sudo command. So I will use a single digit on Mark and do the same thing. Mark's password currently is a single digit. I'm certainly not going to leave it that way. And then I'll show you an example of what happens if I don't match up the passwords. So I'll redo that, and then I'll type in a bunch of gibberish. And you can see, sorry, passwords do not match. Password is unchanged. Authentication token manipulation error, because I didn't put the new password and retype the new password as same. So you'll have to repeat that command if you want to fix that for Mark. Five digits is what I'm punching in. So I just changed Mark's password because I'm an administrator. Sometimes administrators need to do that. Some people forget their password. So I just reset Mark's password. So multiple ways of doing things, but generally what I started out here on line 1 is I'm changing Sam's password, and Sam is our current logged in user. It requests a sudo password for Sam, which you punched in, and it will normally show you asterisks. And then the next field after that will be enter the new password. And as soon as you type, you see nothing. That is standard behavior. And then you'll have to type in the password twice to have it successfully updated. Otherwise, you get silly stuff like this. Now I'm going to hit close and say thank you for watching.